It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
Alright everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we have an interesting video suggested by a few of you guys. So shout out to Unholy Line 47, Cozy, and Mr. Shada X713 for suggesting this video in the Discord. This one is from Skyjun, titled "Stop Using Winstreaks as Balancing Evidence." Now, I have actually covered a video that was very similar to this because there was a survivor main that was trying to equate the win streaks to somehow being in like an indication of the killer being this crazy overpowered side, that the game is completely killer sided because one person, being Momo 7th, mind you, which is what I was arguing against in that video. I'll probably put up a screenshot of which video we're talking about. I can also link it at the end if that helps. But my argument entirely was, if one single player, being Momo 7th, who has thousands of hours with the most amount of experience out of everybody playing killer on Blight, and is a comp player, going against potentially casuals or just survivor players that don't know what the hell they're doing, does not magically indicate that the killer side is somehow strong when it's one singular killer on one singular player, comparing it to the entire player base of the killer side. Those are not the same thing, because not every single Blight player can go up into those kinds of like thousands of wins. I can tell you right now, I cannot load up the game right now and just go on a streak with Blight. That I don't have the experience with Blight to be able to win every single game back to back to back. That just doesn't work that way. It simply just doesn't work that way. But for some reason they think that it does. Don't know how. It was never properly explained, and in their own response, they quite literally just said they don't care. So pretty much no conversation to be had. We came out still on top at that point because these survivor players tend to fail to disprove anything that we say, especially when there's evidence to back up what we're saying. So I don't know, but regardless, topic at hand today, win streaks do not have any indication for the strength of the killer side at all, and Scott has arrived to kind of give us that take
in DBD, or win streaks rather, and how people tend to use those as metrics for balance. Basically, people will see someone get, X whatever streak on, whatever this is, and then they will assume, oh, well, that means that thing is overpowered because they can do that. And I need to go over the same bullet points every single time. So it's just stuff like this. Vile Hens at it again. This is the latest example of people freaking out about it. Hens is on a very high win streak with Jason, and I think Momo is too. There's a lot of people that have a pretty high win streak with Jason. But yet again, they're using, this is an example of, okay, well, that means that Jason's overpowered. Hens is able to get, 200 wins in a row.
Did not expect to see a forum post in a Scott Jun video, but here we are. Now, I have to agree with Scott here, which is kind of rare. It really just depends. It feels like a 50-50 shot with every video that we cover, but when it comes to Scott, but regardless, we do agree. All right, me and this little TV here, we agree. Okay, we both agree that Scott's on the money with this, because we have to look at a couple factors that Scott's probably going to mention anyway, but I'm going to mention it right now. The mere fact that, one, the character has just released, number one. Two, a bunch of new players have joined the game because of Jason Voorhees, right? Well, I guess not Voorhees technically, but, in quotations, Jason has arrived to the game. So a lot of people are like, that love the character, or want to play them. Or, yeah, people that are like, oh, I want to play Survivor, see what it's about. They're probably also new to the game. Whatever reason it may be that they arrived to the game, the player base has jumped because of it, right? As a result, you're going to just overall have a gigantic amount of players that are either brand new to the game, brand new to fighting, to basically surviving against Jason, or both, right? And that is what they're facing, right? Because the character's fresh, he's brand new. How is anyone gonna know from day one, basically, or week one, like, oh yeah, that's exactly how you counter him? Like, I already know exactly how to counter him, and the exact build to bring, and every single match I know exactly what to do. That's not always guaranteed. there probably are people that have dedicated enough of their wasted enough time on DBD to be able to do that, right? But that's probably not everybody. A lot of the people are also casuals that are tuning in to play the game, and they're probably going to be going against Hands or Momo 7th or whatever have you. And mind you, these players that we're talking about are also extremely experienced. Like, these people have been playing this game for ages and have ties with the competitive play, despite the fact that the competitive play on DVD is kind of a joke regardless. But that's its own discussion. The point being is that these players are extremely experienced using the new characters. So you're factoring in a gigantic amount of experience with just killer in general, on top of players that don't know what they're doing, is going to inflate the kill rate. It's going to inflate the win. It's going to inflate the streak. It's basics. But for some reason, like, and this happens a lot with discussions around this game, the low IQ DVD community tends to forget that not only MMR exists, they tend to forget when release dates are, they tend to forget that magically everybody doesn't know what they're doing, which they usually don't, right? And they tend to inflate, they have like this inflated sense of intelligence when they really don't have any with this game. Like, they like to pretend they know what they're talking about. And also, don't forget the LARPers, the gaslighters, about killer, yada yada yada. Like, he just keeps going. So when I see something like this, I go, yep, just classic DVD, because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They never do. I really don't understand it. I don't know why it's so difficult for them to understand that it's a new killer with new players. Duh. Like, what do you think is gonna happen? But somehow it just equates, oh, the killer is strong. Like, what are you talking about, bro?
Therefore, we need to nerf the Jason. So I'm gonna go over the same bullet points, I have to say, every time we have this discussion. So that doesn't mean really anything. The whole idea of win streaks in DBD are very, very silly. Now, it's not to say that there's no skill involved at all. Like, you know, Momo getting like almost 2,000 with Blight. Statistically, some of those have to be filled with players that are extremely good at the game. They just have to be statistically. So in a
I have to agree with Scott on that. That's what I'm trying to get at. Because a lot of Survivor players love to believe, oh, it's just a character, you could just click and go and it's free wins. It's like, then where is it then? I've loaded up these same characters before, and every time I'm in the match, I ask, where's my win? Because I'm not getting free down, free kill, free out. Like, I'm not getting anything for free. I have to do everything perfectly to get the same results. So I'd like to understand, you know, where's my win? Because I'm going against players that have gone against Blight or Jason or whatever it may be already. Like, they already understand how to counter it. They've already understood that they can just sit in a Discord call and communicate exactly where I'm going at any point at anywhere I am, and can counter all my perks because they're all communicating to each other at the same freaking time. Oh, he has this, he has that. So it's like, I don't have the thousands of hours on Blight or Jason as I would imagine with, say, Momo 7th, or whether it be with Hens, which, I mean, you know, Jason with 1,000 hours, you know, take that with a grain of salt, of course. But you understand the point. Like, the experience is not there. None of us can necessarily do that if we're casuals or don't play the game. There's a level of skill there. But they failed to acknowledge it for some reason, because I think maybe it reflects how badly on them, because they can't do it because they're ass, but they can't fathom the idea that they're garbage at their favorite little slop game. So then they want to try to say, no, it's the game's fault. And it's like, no, you're just bad at the goddamn game. You decided to play the slop fest for the entirety of your life. Like, that's all you. You can easily just play something else. You can easily get better at the game if you do the research. As much as people want to cope and say, oh, the tutorial's bad. Okay, but YouTube exists. The internet exists. Google exists. You can look up these things. It's ridiculous. It's such a, like, a nothing burger of a rebuttal, right? Because the resources are there, right? So regardless, let's continue.
sheer numbers game with that many, eventually, yeah, you are going to get good players, and that does become very impressive because a lesser player will not be able to beat those few good players that they get during that.
That's exactly my point that Scott pretty much summarizes in about a sentence. There is a level of skill there because, as I keep saying over and over and over, I can't personally load up Blight and do the same thing. I'm pretty sure anybody listening to this probably will not be able to do the same thing. It just doesn't work that way. You don't have the level of knowledge. You don't know exactly how and where to collide with Blight's rushes. You just don't know where or how or when to use Jason's abilities or whatever it may be, whatever example you want. It just, the knowledge just isn't there. And even if I can come close, I'm still going to be lacking that bit of knowledge that they would have that I don't have, because I still don't have the amount of time spent on, say, this other map or this other variation or this other perk combination or whatever it may be.
The problem is 99% of the games are not that. They are just complete stomps, and win streaks are only possible that numbers that high because the matchmaking in DBD just simply does not work. It does not put you against evenly skilled opponents. It's not even close. So when you have, comp players doing win streaks in public matches, it's basically Michael Jordan beating up some babies, 99% of the time, and then occasionally LeBron shows up or something like that. So
that is pretty much the best way to describe it, I would say. The matchmaking is really not that great. Especially if you do play within like low to average MMR, it's pretty much just anywhere, any point, because most of the player base is there. I do think when you hit the higher bracket, I think it starts to be a little more strict, and you just end up just getting a better chance of just finding sweat balls. At least, unless I'm just unlucky too, because anytime I would load up like Ghostface, for example, it was just like, it's impossible. Like you're not really getting any 4Ks at any point. You're not getting really any 3Ks either. Probably getting like 1, maybe 0. Like you're not really doing much due to the game speed nowadays and all that other stuff. But who knows, right? Maybe the character's just also bad as well. Regardless, it could be just the palette changes, the perk changes. It could be a lot of different factors coming into play. So who knows?
It's always been like that since the dawn of the game. Matchmaking has never really been super accurate. And it's the only game that I can think of in existence where you can get 100 wins in a row and then lose the 101st game and then say, wow, this game is too hard for killer. Like, I don't know how the community can like see how often you can win due to the matchmaking and then come to that rationalization.
Now that part I don't think is what people are saying. I think that might be a misrepresentation of what people are talking about when they say that the killer side is more difficult and it has become more difficult. And I've seen another content creator say the same thing, and it's like, dude, like it just doesn't make any sense. Like I understand that a lot of people play at low to average and they play killer every once in a while, or they play this one character for a few hours and then they swap to a different character and whatever it may be. So I understand that like they get like this sort of preconceived bias, like, oh well, it's easy for me, so it's easy for everybody. Like that's not the case. You know what I mean? Everybody's experience with this game can kind of vary. Unfortunately, speaking for myself, like anytime I've ever gone into a match, and you guys already know I only play on streams anyway, so 9 times out of 10 it's a sweat fest. Like there is no chill match, there's no like steamroll really. Like I'll get maybe 1 steamroll game if I've lost at least 2 prior. Then it's like, okay, maybe we'll get an easier game, but that's not even guaranteed. And I don't play that many matches anyway, so it's like, well, just gonna swap off and play some RE4 for you guys instead. So I just don't think it's a point. I just don't think that because a streamer can swap a character for the stream every once in a while, is it the same as somebody who like mains a character or has a lot more time to like dedicate, or even less time to dedicate, or whatever have you. I think it just varies. It's hard to say with confidence that would be the case.
It's just like, I don't know, it's absolutely insane to me. Like any other game, like if you got like 10 wins in a row in like high MMR StarCraft 2 or something, that is insane. That's like, holy shit, you won 10 times at 7,000 MMR? That is fucking insane. You are a god, and you would be. That's crazy. I would always consider 10 wins in a row against equally competent players to be immensely more impressive than 2,000 wins in a row against, anybody. Again, not to say that there's no skill involved, because lesser players will not be able to deal with the very few games filled with very good players that they get. But still, it's mostly just beating up babies. And that's why I don't like win streaks. That's why I don't do them. I just think they're mindlessly boring most of the time.
To be fair, though, to kind of sort of hit Scott with the nerd emoji. Actually, Scott has claimed in a previous video that he attempted, quote unquote, heavy quotations on attempted a streak, proceeded to win maybe one game, and then said it was too boring, and then never did it again. And mind you, he was playing Wraith and had like a very like mid-tier build. It wasn't even like a I'm gonna win the game kind of build. It was just like some random perks. I forget what it was. I think it had like Spirit Fury in there and Enduring. So I was like, yeah, he's not trying to win the game with that build. That's not gonna work. Most of the time, it's easy counterable by just sheer communication or just using their eyeballs. Because if they just see you like, you know, bomb rushing every perk and you have Enduring, not every perk, every palette, if they're paying attention, they're probably gonna be like, well, yeah, no, let me just pre-drop. But regardless, the fact of the matter is that he says this, but like like when he did actually attempt the streak, he never really put in much effort, because he said at the time in that video, oh, I'm just kind of bored of the game, so I wanted to try a streak, you know, and it really wasn't that interesting. I only won like one game, and I'm like, okay. You know, I'm not saying that you should be streaking on this game. Like, I don't think it's like the most fun thing to do. Regardless, I don't think it'd be very possible, especially if you're like an average player. And taking into account like the overabundance of survivor buffs at this point with the basic changes and everything, I just don't think there's really a good chance for you. Just from looking at the patch notes and just playing a match every once in a while, I'm like, yeah, this ain't it. Like, it's not even fun. The power roll ain't even the power roll. So let's be honest. But I want to hear what you guys think in the comment section about the topic at hand today. Do you think that Scott's right on this for the most part? I mean, there's some parts of it that I disagree with, but of course, you already know my take. I don't think that we should be using win streaks as a sort of metric for balancing. Really doesn't make any sense to do so. Matchmaking isn't that good anyway. So let me know your thoughts, man. And consider checking out the other channels for the v.h.s.x channel and the Marvel Rivals channel that will be at the top of the DVD channel, which is the one you're probably watching right now. And I can also put them at the end screen next to the video, so you guys can check out those channels. And I will see you guys in the next one. Check out the if you want to become a member as well for exclusive perks and content. Check that out. I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, let's go ahead and read off these wonderful members. We got Patreon, Crow Vader. All my YouTube members, Brando, Evil Blade, Cap Courteous, WTF You're Not J-Lo, Evil Peach, Cargan Falcon, Dole Whip, Noxus, Zero Mocker, Jack, Christian, and Crow Vader. Really appreciate you guys supporting, man. And if you also subbed on Twitch, just know that you got love coming your way too. Appreciate you guys, man.